Okay, so we're in round 4, and we're actually going to get another mono black special. We've got Micol again in the hot seat, playing against Ami, who's piloting a Bant Eldrazi deck. So we'll see if Micol fares a little bit better this time. Looks like unfortunately he's going to be taking a mulligan here. Well, certainly he doesn't have to worry about Mirren Crusader like he had to in the previous round, so that's a plus. But let's see if his tiny black kind of recursive creatures can deal with the big Eldrazi Menace in the room. Unfortunately, Ami's going to be playing things like Path to Exile, so certainly things that Micol doesn't want to see.
That Undying is still a...
man, there's
opening
Path to
Exile.
Oh, we've got a little bit of spice in Ami's deck. I hadn't noticed it previously. We've got a Worm Coil Engine. Oh, and unfortunately it looks like Ami's going to be having to take a mull as well. Oh, well, off to a riveting start watching players shuffle. Let's see if we can get there.
Name of the game.
Yep. Yeah, well, they don't call it Magic the Shuffling for no reason.
True.
I don't think anyone calls it Magic the Shuffling.
I've never heard that.
Oh, well, it's modern as Magic the Shuffling, with all of our fetch lands. And into not so bad of a start. We've got that main board engineered explosives on Ami's end. Certainly a lot of things in Mickol's deck that are 1 or 2 converted mana cost. I like how leaning over from side to side makes it.
Helps,
It's kind of just like when you're playing Mario Kart.
Exactly.
You
gotta
lean
go
with
lean
the
with
controller to
I'm going off the edge. I believe me. I'm
Yes.
leaning the other way.
Exactly. Oh, and we're off to a very brisk start with each player deciding to just drop all the lands and continue moving forward.
Not doing anything.
That beautiful Artikar Wastes, I believe it is. That's the white-blue pain land. Maybe it's an Artikar Wastes. I don't know. Can't tell from this angle. But trip lands on Ami's side into 3 lands on Mickol's side as well. Going
As
down
he
with,
fetches for 1.
yes, fetching for his 3rd land. The fetch land in Mickol's deck, you might be wondering why those kind of even exist in the first place, given that he's playing mono black. Certainly give him sideboard options in this particular build, just straight up mono black. But the fetch lands actually instant speed Bloodghast triggers.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you happen to be worrying about those. But the 4th land on the side of the Bant Eldrazi player, trying to figure out exactly how his mana base is going to work. My first thought is when I'm seeing these colorless lands, or the pain lands, I can automatically recognize my opponent is on Eldrazi. Interestingly enough, he's playing on the Eldrazi side of the Zendikar vs. Eldrazi playmat. But yes, as one can expect, 4 mana and Thoughtseize. And we get to see Mickol's grip as he just displays his hand
of good stuff
everywhere. A double Fatal Push. Fetch land to be able to turn on the Fatal Push Revolt for that Thoughtseize, which is great.
Those fetch lands are great for.
Gatekeeper of Malakir, Liliana, the Last Hope, and a Great Merchant. Our friend Gary, welcome back.
Seen Gary in a while.
Yeah, exactly. Mickol's hand is stacked right now to be able to deal with this Thoughtseize.
Really is.
Yeah, makes sense that Ami gets rid of the Gatekeeper of Malakir. It's basically 3 mana, kill your dude, draw a card, and I've got a 2/2 for my troubles. At least this way forces taking the Gatekeeper forces Micol to crack his fetch to revolt the Fatal Push if he wants to be able to kill it. And
That's still something he can do, but I mean, getting another body off the field, you don't have to stare down. Once he does remove the Thought-Knot is good, especially when he knows that he's only got another Fatal Push and a Lily.
Certainly. The only, I guess, problem here is that we're probably going to be facing down a Planeswalker. Then again, Ami is going to be able to hopefully get his 5th land drop and possibly say, I don't care about your Liliana, I'm going to reality smash it. But the fact that we don't have a slam down of the 4th land into a reality smasher probably indicates that Ami doesn't have that reality smasher.
Oh, we got 3 mana here.
Instead, taking some pain. Maybe... Oh, Engineer Explosives for 3. Okay. Yeah, well, it's the roundabout kind of painful, quite literally. He had to pay a life to cast it for the 3rd mana. A way of getting rid of the Liliana. Okay. Inquisition. Oh, whoa, we've got some spice here. In more ways than one, we've got a Batterskull and the recently banned... I guess not so recent, but Emrakul. Banned in Standard. Yes.
One that causes problems, apparently.
Yes, yes. Well,
Can't Fatal Push that.
No, certainly can't Fatal Push. Well, for more than one reason. Protection from instants, and 13 is a lot more than 4. But a little bit of ways off of being able to cast Emrakul. She's a little bit expensive. 3 creature types, or 3 types in the graveyard. 2 types in the graveyard right now, so still costs 11. And a little bit of ways from that Batterskull as well. Interestingly, the Batterskulls will be able to put in some amount of work here. The Germ token, unfortunately, still gets Fatal Pushed.
Being a 0 cost.
Yes, costing 0, and it forces Ami to have to replay things. But deciding instead that Liliana's the bigger threat, doesn't have any way to deal with it, and doesn't want Micol getting any additional value, and just blows the Engineer Explosives. Oh, and Micol leading with a Phyrexian Arena, just being able to get all of that value. Takes a life at the beginning of his upkeep, draws a card. So just kind of trying to cement his lead right here, drawing 2 cards a turn just to see, put himself ahead as much as he possibly can. With Ami's
Thoughtseize?
Yeah, so Ami's only follow-up being the Eldrazi Displacer. Great card, and possibly able to block all of Micol's attackers, but the Thoughtseize getting rid of any possible threat that could be coming anytime soon.
Is that the reality that he grabbed?
Yes, the Reality Smasher. Micol knows that Batterskull is a little bit of a threat, but his deck is stacked with removal spells and gatekeepers, and choosing to
earthquake.
Mini earthquake.
Welcome to California.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't quite an earthquake. Getting in with the Eldrazi Displacer is pretty safe. The Bloodghast can't block, and he can blink. Blink the Bloodghasts if blink at least one of them. So
we're gonna do that.
Not the end of the world. Ami realizing that he has to figure out a way to get Micol dead. The arena with Micol at a really stable life total, 11, and drawing 2 cards a turn is just going to put him so far ahead. Ami does know that Micol also has that Grey Merchant of Asphodel, so anytime he draws that last mana source, he's just going to be so far ahead. He's already got 6 pips on the battlefield right now, and then with the Grey Merchant, that puts him up to 8, so gain 8, drain 8. That's a rough spot to be in. And the Liliana just adding 2 more devotion here, and a resilient threat, being able to bring things back or put things into the graveyard, possibly shrink some of Ami's creatures. Micol's just so far ahead, even without Ami having an empty board. But let's see if we can just get the Grey Merchant win here, because it looks like Ami, well, has to have path into a bunch of other things. But given it the Micol, you're gonna have to take this from me, kind of.
And there's the
Grey Merchant for 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Wow, well, getting there. Grey Merchant of Asphodel. Who would have known? Pretty good card. Modern staple. You heard it here first, folks. See you in game 2.